All right. Again, I'm Ari. I'm the founder and one of the support team here at Awkwardly Zen, and I am so excited to introduce you all to Shakti. Shakti came and taught with us back in April about mindset ancestry, and I am super excited for her to teach us all tonight, and then she's going to do some sessions after we do the teaching part. So Shakti, I'm going to pass it over to you, and I'm excited to hear from you tonight.
Great. Ari, just wondered if you could share your experience.
Sure, I would love to.
Yeah.
So I had an amazing session with Shakti before we had our last event with her. And one of the things that we were able to clear from my past ancestors, what was passed down to me, was a fear of money. And that came from a business failure from, I think it was like my great grandparent on my dad's side. I can't remember exactly. And so she was able to do a clearing on that through my dad and through me. And I was just telling her before we got started here that my dad and I work together in business, and we are actually having the best year that we have ever had by about 3 times. So the clearing that she did with us, I give a lot of credit to the fact that we gave up this failure or this fear of failure and not being able to move forward and make money. And that has been huge for us. So I highly recommend that you volunteer for tonight and that you get excited about the possibility of doing a full session with Shakti, because it is well worth it.
Thank you. That's great. That's great. Well, I'm just so happy to be joining the group again. I just love Ari, and her team is just doing an amazing job just offering this to people to really own who they are, love who they are, appreciate their value. So I'm just so happy to come back and share this amazing system. And we're going to just have fun tonight. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what mindset ancestry is, and then we're going to have some fun with it. So just a little bit of a background. The mindset ancestry it's an idea to just heal the traumatic or any negative mindsets that were passed down from your ancestors, so that you can really live the way you want, that you're not carrying this other energy that they may have gone through. And I really want everyone to be open to be able to live their best life and have the best results that they want. And I've been working with this type of system for 30 years, and I've learned so much about what happens with people and with the common mindsets, limited mindsets that people have. So if you want like more confidence or focus or creativity or improve relationships or want more motivation in your business, or just to find out what's holding you back from any success for the relationships, career, money, and purpose, this is a very interesting way to look at it. It's fun. It's a gem. It's fantastic. It's so intriguing, and it's just revealing and helps my clients just move through, like Ari was saying, just to move through an idea that may not even be ours and we're carrying. So behind everything that we're looking for, there are some core issues. So for me, the mindset played a big part in my own personal journey. Just a little bit of background. When I was younger, experienced a trauma at a young age. And I just couldn't find my career path when I was older. I just struggled with relationships. I got involved with yoga, meditation. Oh my gosh, yes, saved my life. Meditation did. And learned how to meditate when I was 21. And it did. It really saved my life. But I knew there was something else that I could be aware of that would help me on my path. So eventually I discovered the concept of shifting mindsets. And until then, I didn't, I was doing my meditation, but I didn't really think about what I was thinking about. It just didn't occur to me. So really, what was going on in my mind? How was I talking to myself? Would I talk to somebody else like I'm talking to me? Probably not. So I wanted to explore that. It was just intriguing to me. So were these thoughts that I was having, were they mine or they somebody else's? So the biggest mindset that I inherited from my family, and we all have our own, it's an individual story. For me, it was low self-value and abandonment. Those were the big ones. But I didn't realize that these mindsets had so much power over my behavior. But once I started shifting things, I saw more success. It changed my life. So I just kept learning and learning and found a method that was much faster and more effective. It's called pendulum dowsing. So I actually use a pendulum. I use a series of charts, and it's a system that directly taps into the subconscious. So it goes beyond our conscious mind, what we're thinking. And then I could just get right into what the subconscious is really saying. And because that's the core where our issues are, it's in the subconscious. So the more that I was working on this, I realized that my clients, they really were helpful when I tapped into inherited mindsets. So what is a mindset really? It's just a thought, a belief, assumption, an emotion, anything that we've created that becomes a set in our mind. So remember, they can be positive. You can have a very strong mindset, or you can have a negative one, which is an unsupported mindset. But they're very strong. They're always recurring, and they're deeply entrenched in our psyche. Subconscious or conscious mind. And they shape our behavior, and then our behavior shapes our lives. I think most of you know this. So a supportive mindset would support a positive behavior. An unsupported mindset, one that is on the negative side, will support negative behaviors. So sometimes the brain won't operate as fast, where our energy goes down, we get burnout, we're maybe procrastinated, we'll just feel stuck. So these behaviors that have come from the subconscious mind, they affect our relationships, our career, our health, our wealth. So what problems do unsupportive mindsets cause? Well, if we're talking about relationships, you may notice high maintenance relationships, dramatic, are more common in your life. It's interesting to watch it. You may have toxic workplace. You may have division in family. If we're talking about any mental or emotional health, you may have a lot of sadness, lack of motivation, anxiety, or overwhelm. Remember, some of these are not ours, but this is what's manifesting. This is what's showing up. That's why I love doing this, because it's revealing. It's revealing. I just have so much fun with it. That's all I can say. And the career, it can cause procrastination, fear of taking action. Maybe there's who knows what happened in the lineage. They go through trauma. They go through invasions and wars and catastrophes. And it just comes down the lineage. And then we manifest it as we are taking it on. So the solution is just to know, just to have the idea that you can change your mindset. Because, when we're stuck in a negative cycle, it's so stuck in it starts spinning, like domino. Like you'll have a negative thought one day, and then a week later, you're still having a negative thought. It just dominoes to, oh my gosh, there's too much going on. So it's just the idea that we can change them. And the faster that we notice them, the better it is. So as I said, I was born into this family with a lot of negative mindsets in the lineage. So this means that my family had a lot of negative ways of thinking and behaving. My grandparents had it, my parents had it, and then I had it. So my dad was the one with issues with the low self-esteem, got passed down at birth. And my mother died young when I was about 14 or 15. And then, so now my abandonment shows up and my low self-esteem. But what's interesting is my mother's father died when she was young. You see how it comes down the lineage for me. So I'm living my life going, where is everybody and who am I? What am I doing? I was just unhappy. I was just caught in this cycle. So I went into a depression for about 7 years, and I couldn't feel valued in relationships, couldn't find fulfilling relationships, and couldn't find a purpose in my career or in college. So I started working on healing this low self-value and abandonment issues. And I realized, oh, wait a minute, I have a choice. I can actually create my own self-value, or I can wait and get it from other people and parents, friends, and school. So that was like, light bulb went off, right? And many of us grow up just accepting the value that others have given to us. And if it's negative, whoa, we think it's true. And then we try to manifest in our life from that negative mindset. So I started using a new mindset affirmation for me, that my personal value comes from source, whatever you want to call that, and only from source, so that I was able to, it comes from within me, no one else. And that gave me just so much energy about discovering who I was, and my confidence shifted because I was no longer waiting for that from the outer. So once I was able to let that go, my life started changing. I started to find a career purpose, create better relationships. My depression was gone. Between that and meditation, gone. So further along, I realized, I really have to work on this and letting go of any negative pattern from my lineage. Because at this time I had kids, and I wanted my mindset, my limited mindset of the low self-value and abandonment. These mindsets stop with me. One of the main things I got into this is because I did not want to pass them on to my sons. Seth may be on the call tonight if he's here. Love and honor you. Thank you for being in my life. And he probably is thanking me for doing my work and let go of my lineage, so he doesn't get, what I've carried. And I have another son, Sean. Also, I did not want him to carry any low self-value or abandonment. It was so important to break the cycle. And that was my focus. So if any of you do have children, or you plan to in the future, work on these mindsets, because when you shift, when we all shift, the people around us shift. If we have children, they will shift. If anytime you change, they will change. So if you don't have any children now, if you plan to work on whatever, you're in an amazing supportive group here, work on all of these limited mindsets so that you're free of this and your family life will change. So what about these ancestral mindsets? It's not by choice. We're not picking them consciously. So it comes through the lineage. So they're inherited from family. Again, they get passed down, parents, grandparents. So I work with people with 3 generations back. There could be more, going back to 7 and more. If that comes up, then I'll share that. So why are these so important? Is because they're so deeply rooted, and they're just so powerful, and they have an amazing impact on our behavior. But here's the deal, is you don't have to keep them, is that you can let go of them. They're not yours to keep. So you can say, this mindset stops with me. That's what I want all of you to get from today, is that whatever mindset, limited mindset you have, you can just say, this stops with me. And it does something to the psyche. It just says, oh, wait a minute, we're stopping a pattern here. And then it's important to support it. We'll talk about that in a minute. So it is very important that, what I want to do, I want to pause you for a moment, and I want you to think about something. think of, so that to get you into the ancestral mindset idea, I want you to pick relationships, whatever is most important to you, relationship category, career, or money. And think about your parents. What is their view? And then ask yourself, are they negative at all? Are they limited at all? And did you adopt any of these? Are you manifesting any of these? You will know by saying, you may notice yourself saying, oh dear, oops, I just sound like my mother or my father. I mean, that might come out of your mouth. That's happened to me. I'm like, and so it's just interesting. It helps us neutralize these limited mindsets so that we actually have more freedom to let them go. And you may even notice that your parents are acting from their limited mindsets. Well, where do you think they got them? Down the lineage. They may even say, that's the way our family is, or this is how we've always done it. Those are the clues that there are some mindsets to clear. So we're going to deep more into that soon, one-on-one, with the volunteers, and we'll discover how far back some of these may go for you in the ancestry for you. So people would ask, well, how do you fix the problem that mindsets cause? The first step we want to do is to create this mindset foundation. Because when you go in a situation and you're strong, you are strong and solid. Nothing can shake you. Because you are holding very important mindsets. And you have supportive mindsets. If you go in to a situation and you have unsupported mindsets, you're going to be shaky. You're going to get some fear there that may take over. So that is very important that you have this very strong mindset. So Ari, could you put these in the chat for me, please? What I did was I created a list of unsupported mindsets and a list of supportive. Just want you to look at these, because these are ones that have shown up in my years of working with my clients, common ones that show up. So when people work with me, we identify which ones show up for them. Remember, the origin goes back in the lineage, but this is how we are manifesting them. First one, pressure, fear, uncertainty. Remember, the ancestors have gone through so much, and down the lineage comes through grandparents and parents, and now to you. Maybe you manifesting some uncertainty about your life, but the root is with the ancestors. You may be showing up some resistance or stress or overwhelm, panic, self-criticism. These are the ones that you say, these mindsets stop with me. Taking this power back to who you are, that you can shift these. So here's the ones that you want when you come into situation, whether it's relationship, whether it's career, you're talking about money, whatever it is, you want to create that supportive mindset. So you want to come in with the confidence. Remember, it's the inner confidence, relying on your own connection. Focus, your intuition, your own motivation, how you're willing to risk a new relationship or a new job. Self-control, resilience. How do you deal with when failure comes up? Can you jump back? So these are the mindsets. You say, these mindsets start with me. It's fantastic. You want to create a very supportive mindset foundation so that no matter what mindset come down the lineage, you're good. So what's the benefit of creating this strong mindset? Healthier communication, connection with relationships, attracting harmonious relationships personally and with work. Mentally, you would have more contentment, more inner peace, higher self-value, like I did. That was my main thing. the more confidence, motivated to do your life purpose, less anxiety, stress, less overwhelm, less fear, career, to be more productive, to feel more connected to your purpose, and to take some fearless action towards what you want to do. Because many times when I get to this career one, there are limited mindsets coming from the ancestors. Remember, they went through very restricted times, were not allowed to be who they are. So that comes down the lineage. So when I work with my clients, we start here. We start by setting up this mindset foundation, because the biggest problems are usually in the ancestral lineage. So the system I created to identify and shift these, I call it mindset ancestry, something I do one-on-one. It's very specific to each person. First, I identify all the inherited mindsets. I do the mother side, the father side. I make it look like a family tree. So you have a family tree, mother side, 3 generations back. So it would be your mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, grandparents, both sides. And on the father side, it's the same thing. It's just fascinating. So I will identify which mindset you inherited, and also who you got them from, right? But the main, very interesting thing is, how strongly does this limited mindset affect you? Because you can have one and it's no big deal, right? Or you can have one that is really affecting you. So it's a very helpful, brings awareness to your spiritual growth. It's just so fascinating. And so anyway, we review it together. We talk about how it's affecting you. And then we set up some times to work together to shift the mindsets. So the result would be is that you get an awesome new mindset foundation, again, to keep you strong no matter what situation shows up, that you have this inner strength, a strong mindset to handle whatever comes, because you are connected to source, whatever you want to call that. So when you have this, any successful behavior that you try to a new one, it's going to stick this time, because there's no negative mindset in the subconscious that's fighting you. It's not saying, no, don't go for it. Oh, you want to go for it? No, 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 don't go for it. So the subconscious is lining up with the conscious mind, and then you get the results that you want. So I love helping people just honor also the positive mindsets that you get from your lineage. Of course, there are the gifts that have given to us. So we talk about those. So for any of the negative ancestral mindsets, you will be able to say, this mindset stops with me. It's just so empowering. And then the new supportive mindset, you'll be able to say, this new mindset starts with me. And the more you say that, the more power that you have over your mindsets. Because in the beginning, you may not even have realized that you had a choice. I didn't know I had a choice. I just was running these negative mindset patterns. So I just wanted to give 2 examples of clients that I was working with the mindset ancestry. So I was working with a sweet woman in business. She's an entrepreneur, and she wanted to bring in more sales. So we worked on the family tree, mother's side, father's side, 3 generations back, both sides. It was interesting because all I knew about her was that she wanted to make more deals. That's all I knew. In the ancestry came up blocks about limited energies, about land, purchase, and living on land, and sales issues. And then she tells me that she's working with buying property, that they are having land issues. Well, I thought that was quite amazing. So we worked together to shift the mindsets. And then within 6 days, she closed a 5-figure deal for more sales. So this gave her 10 times her ROI on her investment with me. And this was only after the first session. That was just fantastic. She was just really ready to embrace the new mindset. One of my favorites is another one. A gentleman came with he had a corporate job and he wanted to climb the corporate ladder, make some more money for his family. So we did the family tree, mother's side, father's side, and we worked together shifting the ancestral mindsets. We came up with this really interesting inherited mindset that was really affecting his behavior. He wasn't aware of it, never even thought about it. So I call it the invisible program. What that means is he felt that he was not seen or heard. He was just manifesting that, but he never pinpointed it until I mentioned it. Remember, this guy, I've never met him. He was referred by a psychologist. So I never met him. So I'm saying to him, does this make any sense to you? You know, can you validate this? Because it's an interesting mindset. And he said, actually, it does. Because it caused him to have behaviors that his colleagues were ignoring him. And he wasn't valued. Because he'd been trying an idea to present to his boss for 3 years, and his boss never paid attention to it. I would say that's invisible. He thought he was invisible. I'm not seen. Where am I? I'm not even seen here. Every time. So we had a few sessions together, worked to remove this inherited mindset, came down the lineage, great grandparents' side. It totally made sense to him. So his result was very interesting. So 3 days after, he had the opportunity to present this same new business idea to his boss. Same boss that ignored him for 3 years. But this time something different happened. He didn't get ignored. The boss listened, loved the idea, and said, why haven't I listened to you all these years? And my client's just like, what just happened? You know, his boss called a meeting and they got the ball rolling on the idea. And then his boss gave him a hug. I mean, this was like just a complete turnaround. So remember I was talking about how if we shift, family shifts. So my session with him was just about him, not about his family. But he tells me this. This is the same day. He goes home and he says, he meets his son. And his son said, hey, Dad, I spoke up for myself today in school. And his dad said, what? And he said, my son is very shy, never talks up at all. See, so his son had inherited that same invisible program, and they broke it the same day. Father broke it, kid broke it. Just fantastic. He was such a happy dad. What a day. Changes at home, changes at work. You know, it's really the best. So that's why it's just so important and fabulous is to shift any limited mindset that you have. Because when you shift, the people around you will shift. So that's a little bit of background about the mindset ancestry and how it works. And I wanted to know if anyone has any questions. We're going to just do a little bit of Q&A and then we'll go into some hot seats. So does anyone have any questions?
There are some questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one, let me scroll back through it, is how different can the inherited mindset be between siblings, especially when siblings are so different?
Oh, very different. I mean, I have done siblings and each one of them will pick up different mindsets from different people in the family.
Okay. So that's the main thing, is that it can be different for every
totally
single
different
because
for
what
siblings.
they latch onto. Okay.
Yep, absolutely different.
Awesome. And so can a mindset skip a generation? So if
Yes.
one person has it, can it maybe not affect their children?
Yes.
Okay, Perfect. These are,
Yes, I have seen it go from great grandmother skipped the grandmother, then the mother got it.
okay.
But then the one below it, then the child, the client was working with, she had it, but she was not highly affected by it. It's so different. But yes, it can skip.
Okay, so we've got two questions that are kind of the same. What about if somebody doesn't know one side of their family at all, or if they were adopted?
Oh, I love those. Okay. When when somebody wants to do the ancestry, I send them links. They can fill in the family names and they send it back to me. If they do not know the names, it does not matter. Does not matter at all. I only ask for the names so that they have a connection. I don't need the names to find out the energy. And that's also quite fascinating, how I can tap into that and not even know who they are.
Yeah, I mean, even with my reading with you, we didn't have a lot of the names.
Yeah, I don't need it because I'm tapping into this energy that I don't really need it. Okay, the other question is about adopted.
Yep.
So the question, what would show up is, remember, I'm asking about inherited. I'm not asking for the environment. So I wouldn't be tapping into their family that they picked up. You know, we pick up from family. I'm tapping into inherited. So yes, I still can tap into inherited, even if they've never met their parents or their family.
Okay. Awesome. So can the shift work for other family members if you don't have children yourselves?
Yes. If you notice all the growth work that you all do, when you shift something, I'm sure all of you have seen it. You shift something and the other person looks different all of a sudden. Right?
Yeah. Well, and what you cleared in me cleared in my dad as well.
Yes.
So it cleared up.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Is it possible to bring in positive mindsets from ancestors that you aren't already practicing? Can you be inspired by ancestors, which we don't know?
Yes.
I love how Shakti answers questions. She's like, yep, that's it. Perfect.
Absolutely, because part of the reading that I do is I'll go into each ancestor and I will tell you the positive energy that they want to bring to you. And it's so loving and an idea like, oh, they want me to go, on adventures. Okay, that means that person, the the ancestor loved adventure and wanted to pass down adventure. So this client I was working with was always afraid to go on adventure, but inside loved adventure, So we talked about that so that she can release the mindset and honor the ancestor that said, go for it. So I will go through each ancestor and tell them what positive energy that ancestor would like to bring to them.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any questions? There's no more in the chat. I'm watching there. I'm trying to see everybody. It's very challenging because there's 45 of you in here.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, a little different than last time. I think we have 20 more people in here. Okay, so I think that we might be ready. Just a reminder, if you are interested in volunteering for a possible mini session tonight, I did get the question, do you need to have them on camera if they get picked for the mini session?
No, I just need to hear them.
Okay, just need to hear them. So I know, Mary, if you are wanting to do that, would you text me, please? Because I know you can't put it in the chat, but you can text me. So, and anybody else, just make sure. Oh, there's one more question that came in. Is it just one session and you're all clear?
Mean when you're working with me?
Yep.
I divided into several sessions. 2 hours on mother's side and 2 hours on father's side. And you'll be in really good shape.
Okay. Is this the same as reading Akashic records?
I would say very similar. Yes. That's where I'm tapping into.
Okay. Awesome. Let me add in a couple people here. And just a reminder, everybody, we're doing a random number generator. So, okay. Check over here. Okay. Is the 2 hours each parent included in the package that you offer all together? And we'll talk more about that here in a minute. Okay.
No, the special offer is just for the chart.
Okay.
The Ancestry chart. That's all it is. And 1 hour with me to review it. Once you want to process any of it, then we set up further sessions.
Okay.
It's like getting a lab report.
Okay.
Of your mindsets.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I'm going to do my random number generator. So we're going to turn off the recording. But before we turn off the recording to do these little mini sessions, Shakti, will you tell everybody who is seeing the recording how they can reach you?
Yes, they can reach me through my website, themindsetcompany.com.